Hello, hello.
Hey Sandy.
Hey there.
Hi, Sandy.
Hi
I don't
there.
know if you
How's it
remember
going?
me. How are you?
Great. How are things? Did you have a good summer?
Great. Yes, yes. How about you?
Good. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to believe fall's already here.
I know I feel like I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be 100 years old.
Wait, we're not already?
I know. This life is going so fast.
Mm-hmm. So true.
Good
All
morning.
right, I'm going to go off camera. Hello, Filippo. Hello, James.
Hi there.
Nick, Jeff, Lisa. I don't think I've ever met you. I know Tom. I think I've met you before. Miriam.
Well,
All
Rebecca, you're
right.
going to meet Lisa today because she's got a few slides to present about herself. So hopefully
Oh,
we
great.
can ask her
That's
questions.
fantastic. All righty. Well, if everybody could be on camera, then we can all see each other. I'm just missing people. I feel like all I do is look out my window and watch the squirrels. So while I'm working. Uh,
If I look out my window, I see the various fauna that my cat has killed.
oh
I
dear.
know, a partly digested rat this morning. Thanks for that.
Oh dear.
It's because they're harvesting, so everything's coming out of the fields. So the cat's in a heyday at the moment.
Oh dear. My goodness. I used to have a neighbor. The cat would bring in all kinds of prizes for her in the middle of the night.
Yes. Mine tends to leave them outside. It's like, do it yourself. It's it's like a butcher's block out there some mornings.
Well, at least your squirrels are nice. My squirrels are digging holes in the ground. I mean, they're very mean. You know how many times I'm like, I should get a gun and shoot them. That's it.
Filippo.
You can say that in America. We can't say that here.
Can't take it anymore.
Buy a cat, Filippo.
Maybe that's what I should. More
Squirrels
claws.
really are the worst.
Oh dear.
Terrible.
Oh, Mariam's here. Hi, Mariam.
Hi, everyone. I think we're at a good number. It seems to the participants have seemed to slow down entry. So I think we can go ahead and get started unless anyone has objections.
Nope, it's good to go.
Okay. Do we have any slides? Or,
We have 29 slides according to the
okay,
deck.
perfect.
Filippo, are you sharing it?
Yeah, why don't I do that? I just brought them up. Sorry, one second. Share. Uh, very good. I think this is okay. Sorry. Share. And I'll go in presentation mode anytime. Oh, that's right. This is SharePoint. So where's presentation mode and SharePoint? Yeah, present. Okay, I'm ready. Sorry.
Okay. So we can go ahead to the next slide. I don't think we've added anyone since our last meeting.
No one officially yet.
Yeah. So we can go to the next slide. So today we have a pretty packed agenda. James will provide general updates on the organizational change happening in Vulcan. We'll go through event updates and talk about the Vulcan Foundry, the Public Notice Committee, the VIB, that is work in progress, interest groups, and then have time for question and answer. Next slide. So I'll pass it over to James whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mariam. So we know that you probably all know that I joined this year. There was at the end of 2024, there was a mandate given to a reduced board from the steering committee to reorganize as part of a growth plan. And there's an ambition to get a new organizational structure approved by that steering board and presented to the members for ratification before the end of this year. along with a revised strategy that we're going to talk about a little bit today, and why the focus this year has been on maintaining and coordinating the implementation guides, but on also events. We'll talk a little bit about the events today and why that's going. So the offsite strategy meeting, we developed a new strategic plan, and we adopted a specific methodology. And I just want to talk about that methodology. We're not going to go into any great detail on this. It's just so that you can start getting used to and familiar to this approach. Strategy, every organization has its own approach to strategy. The important thing is, as we know with standards, that we're all talking about the same thing when we say the same thing. This strategic methodology is very similar to the one that HL7 uses, and very similar to many large corporates. So it won't be unfamiliar to you, but there may be some words that are used differently. So just wanted to highlight these aspects to you. So the vision is the why. Why are we all doing this? Why do we all turn up? So when you see the vision, you should go, oh yeah, that's why I'm doing that. So if you're working for a company, that's why I get out of bed and turn up at the company. If you're turning up in your work time or spare time to do stuff for Vulcan, it should be the reason why you're doing that. It's the why, the purpose. The mission or missions are the what. It's the elevator pitch. What are we actually doing? What's the thing that we're trying to achieve here? And we're going to talk about those two levels today. I'm going to introduce you to where we're at in the draft version of that. Still needs ratification by the steering board to be presented to the steering committee, but that's in a work in progress. I think it's important to show you because it explains why we're doing the events. The missions are broken down into a sequence of necessary and sufficient goals. There shouldn't be too many of these. They're all the components that when you've ticked them all off, you can say, yes, we've completed that mission. It's the how, really. And again, it's more like an elevator pitch. You should be able to break down those goals. There's different levels of communication. You know, if you don't have too much detail in there, but they do have some boundaries, whether that's time boundaries or scope boundaries in goals. And then we drop down into SMART objectives. And I guess most people understand SMART, but it's specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bounded. This is where we get into the detail. These are we will achieve this thing by this time and it will have this outcome. I'm not going to look at those specifically today, but they are being developed by a strategy subcommittee that was selected to try and finesse some of the things, because trying to get consistency across all of those levels and within all the different organizations and that comprise our membership is a major task. So I just wanted to introduce that to you as a start. So next slide, please, Felipe. So the next slide, which should be coming any second. Good. So this is still a work in progress, I'm saying here. The vision should be the why we get out of bed, and and it's very similar to the HL7 one, just adapted to the specific domain that we're looking at. It's our purpose, our vision is a world where everyone has access to secure, timely and accurate health information, empowering informed decisions across the research to care continuum. This research to care continuum is covering the clinical research phase, whether that's in hospitals or academia, or whether that's in pharmaceutical companies, and that continuum goes right the way down through to clinical care, where we've got electronic health records, and those bookends, if you like, are our UDP project at one end, which is the clinical trial protocol data, which we're developing for ICH-M11 and beyond. And then at the other end, we've got the electronic health records and the implementation guides around extracting data out of electronic health records. And our purpose is to make sure we connect that continuum. So we felt that was a good vision to the reason why we're all trying to work together. What's the mission? What big thing are we trying to achieve? Well, we're trying to establish a global community which accelerates the interoperability across that research to care continuum through the adoption of HL7 FHIR. So we hope to be able to see a world where the research data can go down unhindered down that continuum into healthcare, and then that real world data, healthcare data, can inform the research by transferring straight back up that stream. That's our objective. So that's perhaps all I want to say about that. Just to say that hopefully will be going out, the full documents will be going out to the voting members for ratification before the end of the year. Next slide, please, Filippo. I thought it was good to see that context, because this year we've had one new implementation guide start. We've had a lot of work going on with the existing projects around the IG guides, and we anticipate getting many more implementation guides started in different areas as a product of going out to our members and talking to them. So what have the current strategic focuses been this year? Well, the organizational change has been happening. You're going to meet some new people that are in the PMO, and they're focusing on events and marketing and engaging with the members. These are the key things we're doing. We don't have much about membership today, but we are going out to a number of different members to get them engaged within the organization and having a real focus on achieving that. But we're also trying to establish the foundations of an organization that's a platform that for you as members, we can build the organization and build the activities that you need to achieve to achieve that vision. So yes, I've talked about the bookend. We're strengthening our role, and in part we're trying to move back up that continuum to try and establish ourselves more in the research end, as well as maintaining and increasing our exposure in the healthcare end. But we're also looking to become a more global organization. I mean, we're global already, but we're trying to make a routine established presence in Europe and a routine established presence in Japan. And you'll see the opening of that as we start to talk about the events when Lisa comes to introduce herself in a moment. For the events, then, we're looking at three different tiers of events. So the connectathons and the implementation guide work, we're calling that's tier 1. That's the lowest level, connecting to the standards, and that activity we want to maintain. We want to maintain what's there and develop more of that. And we're asking our members to recommend new projects to be working on for that. Tier 2, which is exemplified by the VIB initially, but is engaging with the implementers through demos and using and getting use cases to show the use of those. And really, we need to go out to our members and find people to do that. A lot of the projects have been working very hard to find user stories and use cases that they can demonstrate their implementation guides with. And going forwards, we want project proposals for new projects to have that implementation phase, engaging of the users, as part of the proposal that comes through to the board, the steering board, for approval. And then tier 3 is about engaging with the broader community. It's about connecting with other SDOs and other not-for-profit organizations, agencies, and our members to say, where should we be presenting ourselves? Where should we be having an influence? So that tier 3 activity is going to be there. And we're going to be coming back to this operations committee, looking for members to help us with each of these areas as we start to establish these things. So we're growing our global presence. We've got an event in Europe at the end of this year in October the 9th, called TEDAS. You'll see that in a moment. And we are establishing a presence from the 2 or 3 years of really great work that the board has been doing with the PMDA in Japan and going to various conferences in Japan. We're now convening a group of potential new members there to establish a satellite operations committee, because it's very difficult because of time zones for them to be engaged with this operations committee. So that's in its early stages at the moment, but I would imagine in 2026 that will, if we're successful with our November event, we should see that developing next year. So I think I've covered that. If we can, I think that's basically my update. I won't take up too much time, but now we're going to move to introduce the events, and I'm going to hand over to Lisa to introduce herself and some of the events.
Thank you, James. It's really nice to be here, and I'm really looking forward to working with you all. I'm 2 weeks in, so I'm still finding my feet. So you'll have to excuse me, but I hope I've got lots of information to share with you. Just a bit of background on me as to how I find myself here. I've worked just over 25 years now within the membership sector, working with all sorts of different memberships and associations and community groups on a global basis, with an expertise in membership, but also events as well, which is why James connected with me and I'm here today. So my role really is to support and lead Vulcan's global event strategy. And I think we're building something really great there. And I know over the coming months, we'll have more to share. I'm already involved in delivering 3 events, which I'll share a bit more detail on in a moment, and really partnering with other team members in membership and marketing to really push out what we're doing further and wider than what we do. And James has already mentioned, you know, that there's a goal to really expand on the footprint of Vulcan, and I'm hoping with some of the expertise I've had working with global associations, I can give some good support there. But I'm keen to hear from you all. If you've got any ideas, then please throw them my way. I'm not currently an expert in your field. I'm hoping I'll pick some things up by being in the events and sponging in all of that great information that's delivered on stage, but please feel free to reach out if you have any ideas. Great to have your input. I think the next slide, Filippo, please. James has touched there on the current event strategy that we're looking to develop. I don't know that I need to go into it in too much further detail here. James mentioned the tiers and what we're looking to do. We've already gone out to the membership to ask for ideas, and we've got a great form out there. If you haven't completed it, we'd really ask you to do so, that we're compiling thoughts in terms of what it is you're looking for. But, you know, we're looking for submissions, ideas for VIP demos, ideas to be featured on our stage, anything that you can think of, we're looking for ideas on. And the idea is to boost you and what you're doing out there. So that's it on the event strategy. So I mentioned 3 events that I'm already involved in, and I've been thrown in the deep end with the one that's happening in October. This is happening in Copenhagen in partnership with TEDAS. 8th and 9th of October we'll be out there. We're having 1 half day where we're pulling in from TEDAS some of their delegates to help us in terms of getting the message out there about who Vulcan are, to help with membership growth. But then we will work with them on their full day event and deliver our own stream. We will cover 3 key areas. So we'll be looking at who Vulcan are and what it is we do, touching on our projects, and we've got a number of people coming to present on projects. Sunday we'll be doing a session on the VIB and promoting that. And then we've got some roundtables happening there as well. The good news is, if you haven't yet registered, we've just had the registration deadline extended to the 17th of September. That's the last date we can take registrations, and I'm sure we can provide you with the link for that afterwards if you're interested in coming along. We're expecting around about 200, 250 delegates, maybe more if we're really lucky, but that one's coming up pretty soon. So that's October, Copenhagen, in partnership with TEDAS. I think we can go on to the next one, Filippo.
Whilst you're doing that, Lisa, let me just say we have I think it's over 600 people registered for the online version for that event already. So that will be online, not just the TEDAS stream where they're looking at the European Health Data Space projects and how they can develop those, but our stream that's running alongside that as well, where we'll be talking about our projects in my session, as you said, and Sandy will be talking about the VIB, and then we'll be talking about how can Vulcan work with the members and the people that are there to help with the European Health Data Space and beyond. So there's more than 600 already for online, and like you said, we're anticipating about 250 in person. That's getting close to the limit at the moment. So if anyone's interested in going, please register soon. And also please share that on LinkedIn or share that within your organizations. If you could just publicize that for us, we want as many as many people as we can there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
James.
you.
So the next one is Jammy, which happens in November. And a couple of things here. This is all about, really reaching out there to pull together our APAC community and the separate group that we're looking to do. So we will have a pre-Jammy summit that's happening, and that's happening on Tuesday, the 11th of November. And prior to that, the PMDA have also invited us for a visit and meetings there. And then within Jammy itself, we are actually on a panel session, and that one's taking place on the Friday. But this one is all about building up our connections in the APAC region. We are still working on the venue for our dedicated session, so we'll be able to share that with you at a later date. But any APAC connections that you might have that could be interested in this, then again, as James said, pushing the word out there and letting people know it's happening would be really, really helpful. So more on that one as it comes. And then the final one that I'm currently working on is the pavilion that we have at Fuse. And this one is in Texas next March. And the pavilion actually gives us the opportunity to deliver some curated conference sessions. And we've got 2 days that we're working on. The plan is to deliver very much about who Vulcan are, the VIB again, looking at our projects, looking at the strategic landscape, so partnering with other organisations so we can have some really good debate and conversation. And then there will also be an opportunity to network in Vulcan's sponsored social session that we have. And again, we're calling out, really to our members, if they're interested in being involved in helping shape some of those sessions, then please get in touch. Again, it's early days on this one, and we will be providing more information as we go along, but we have that space and those dates and looking for you to get involved. And I think that's all I can share at this stage, but any pointers, any help that all of you can give me, I'm open to chatting, so looking forward to working with you.
Thank you, Lisa. Filippo, before you start, can you just go back to that last slide? So just to underscore what Lisa was saying there, we're pulling together a small group of active members. We've already had volunteers from a volunteer from Fuse and a volunteer from CDIS to join the members group because they're both members of our organization. But I would like some company members to help us frame the content for this. It's an organization, a members organization committee. We'll be dealing with the logistics, but we want you to be a part of that. So if you're interested in doing that, we're currently proposing breaking it into those 4 sessions that you can see there. And we've got the scope to lay out exactly what we want to do there. And I want all 3 tiers that we talked about there. So I'm hoping that the UDP project will be very present there. I'm hoping that the other projects can find an opportunity to come there. And our aim is to get our clinical care colleagues to come and join with a very intensely clinical research or research group of people and continue the discussion and debate and looking at use cases. So please email either Lisa or myself if you're interested in joining that events committee. This is a reach out to you all for that. And again, if you can't do it yourself, if anyone in your organization can, just suggest that they come to us. We want to pull this together as soon as we can so we can get the material out onto the event website and onto our LinkedIn site so that we can encourage many more people to come. Last year, Fuse had over 700 people at their US Connect. They're aiming to get to 1,000. Whether they'll get to 1,000 this year or not, I don't know. But I would like us to be part of that. And so it's a good opportunity for you to get your ideas in front of a large community of like-minded individuals. Fantastic, thank you. John, over to you, Filippo.
Thank you, James, Lisa, and welcome, Lisa. Very good. Okay, very good. So the next update is regarding the Foundry. We've announced at previous meetings and also the LD's meetings that Vulcan was looking to host some projects into the Foundry. From the latest updates, what we learned from the HL7 team is that the funding cycle has ended. Um, our projects were not able to make the cut, and we weren't the only one. My understanding is it happened earlier than expected. We weren't even aware there was a cut for us because we submitted it and we were expecting to just run through this. In fact, we were planning the next steps. But we had very positive about the proposals, positive feedback. Everybody liked them. They like our what we were trying to achieve with these apps, and they're still active on the Vulcan project proposals. We would like to move forward with them. At this moment, we're looking at other funding opportunities, whether it's external. The other option is to fund them internally through Vulcan. But the message we wanted to give you is that the activities what we thought could be achievable to the grant are not available. We're looking for other solutions, and hopefully soon we'll have a new plan on how to move forward with them. But all 4 projects that were submitted, they all kind of got approval from the board, and we're looking to moving forward with them once we have a plan on the funding and a new timetable. Uh, so that's the quick update on the Foundry. Any questions on that before I move to the next topic? Looking at the chat, I don't see any. If you have any other questions, I'll be at the Pittsburgh work group meeting, so we can meet in person. Feel free to shoot me an email. Very good. And next topic, I'm also here. Public Notice Committee. We talked about this again in other meetings. What is the Public Notice Committee? It's a new committee that Vulcan is trying to form to respond to the public notices that come in sometimes at a regular pace, other times, right, they come in through the years. One problem we're trying to also resolve is to be more proactive towards them. So to form a team that is made of our members that can articulate our position, Vulcan's vision, and respond to these notices. We were looking for volunteers and are still looking for volunteers. From the latest updates, the steering board has shown a more active approach to it. They expressed their desire to select the first committee to basically do the election of the first committee to move forward. But if you're interested in participating in either a contributor role or co-chair role, we are submitting all nominations to them. We've also worked on the charter, which goes into depth on roles and responsibility that we would expect a contributor or a co-chair. And that one is up for also review to the board. It's not been approved, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be approved soon. We went through already 2 rounds of editing. So we're close. If you're interested in being part, we welcome everyone, and feel free to either reach out to myself, the PMO group, and you can also use the contact us page on our website to submit a question. Any follow-ups on or questions for the public notice? Very good. Okay. So okay. The next topic is the VAB. Sandy, you're still here. I can advance the slides for you.
Yeah, that's fine. Just a heads up, at the end there's a little video, and I would like to share my screen to show the website if that's possible.
Sure.
Do you want me to do I can either do the slide, I can either do the whole thing, or you can do the slides and then I can just take it for the website. It's up to you.
Oh, why don't I stop so we don't, so you start sharing from your side and
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm not trying to be controlling, Filippo. And also, I want to welcome Lisa. We are so glad that you are here. We know that events are a big lot of minutia and work, and having someone focused on it is going to be really, really important to our success. So thank you for taking this on, and I look forward to working with you. So the Vulcan Interoperability Bridge, I have been just want to give you guys a bit of an update. We've made a lot of progress. The whole idea of the VIB is to engage the Vulcan community and provide a megaphone for the call to use clinical research standards that we build. And I really believe that we have, succeeded in that with this first round of VIB. We've built some good processes. We've learned a lot of lessons, and we are excited to launch the next round of this project. So thank you, thank you, thank you to all who weathered the storm with me as we built this for the first time ever, something that had never been done before, putting this together. And, a lot of you know or are intimately familiar, and some of you may not know that with the transition in our government, because we were funded by ASTP to do this project, there was a fair bit of start and stop, of uncertainty mid-process, of changing use case participants because the government was they were in and involved, and then they were not involved because they couldn't be, and then they were involved again. So we hurried to put them back in. So it was a fair bit of chaos in the spring for me and the entire team. We had 5 different use case groups coming together on weekly calls, and literally from day to day, we're like, who's participating, who's not participating. So again, thank you to all who weathered that storm. And I was really proud to be able to take this over the finish line and host our webinar in mid-June. Basically, we were able to support implementation of Vulcan implementation guides for nearly 30 members. There were more involved, but some that didn't quite make it over the implementation finish line for various reasons. We provided technical support from FHIR SMEs that are not IG authors. And I think this is a really important distinction for the VIB, because what it means is that we're able to truly kick the tires of those IGs. If you have the IG author sitting at the table alongside the technology solutions provider that's trying to implement, it's too easy for them to say, well, what I meant there is, and how you should do that is. And if that's the case, and they can't, and the implementer can't decipher that from the IG itself, that becomes a barrier, right? So then you have interpretations going into implementation. So what was really nice about the VIB was that we were able to bring some technical resources to the table that were very familiar with FHIR, so they could help implementers with the FHIR piece, but maybe not, but not being the IG authors, they weren't there to interpret what the IG said other than what the IG really said. So it really helps us vet the IG in a neutral, objective way, and it gives the implementers the support they need to be the pioneers of the implementation. So it was really exciting to watch. The collaboration with peer organizations was amazing. There were lots of folks working together in tandem. I love it when, sort of frenemies, they are, just like when we come to any of these consortiums, it's like they're competitors in the marketplace, but they're able to work together hand in hand to make sure that we get this implemented in a standard way. So a rising tide raises all ships, and we truly did achieve that with the VIB. So the cool thing about this is that through the webinar and then the website that I'm about to share with you, it gives a ton of visibility to these Vulcan members, and it really connects the industry to a roadmap for how this supports bigger projects. So standards on shelves don't do any good. We know that, right? And any of us, I think a lot of us here have been involved in standards for decades, right? And we can build a standard all we want, but if we don't get it to implementation, if we don't get it out into the marketplace, it means nothing. And so it's really important that we draw that roadmap for here is how the standard is going to help this particular project. And thankfully, because we had ASTP involved, we had a champion, Stefan Konya is the Chief of Innovation and Strategic Partnerships for ASTP, Mitra Roca, the Associate Director of Informatics from the FDA, were intimately involved in this from the beginning. And with their support, we were able to say, here are, I think it was 8 projects that are being supported by these standards, and that, we can accelerate with the Vulcan standards, the progress of these federal initiatives. And so it's really important that we continue to beat that drum, both in the US and in other places. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. For those of you who haven't seen, we have a VIB microsite. So this is how we've gotten all of the rich content that we created during this 6-month or so process out into the world. And I know that Rachel is working on a fabulous marketing plan to continue to get the replays out there, to use little snippets of this in social media and other marketing initiatives. And this will also serve as a great resource on demand as we move forward with various events. So if you go out to vulcaninteroperabilitybridge.org, you'll find, so here's just a short video on why the work is so important. You'll see some of our champions in that video along with James McDermott. And then all of the focus area, all of the use cases here. If you scroll down, I think there's oh, no, it's not, it's over here. So if you click on demos, on that page. So you can go to the entire replay here at the bottom where it says full VIB recording, or you can go into any of the use cases that we did. And when you click into those, you'll find the recording of the demonstration, as well as all of the resources that are available to it points back to the implementation guides, back to the Vulcan website and that sort of thing. And so we're really proud to put this work out there and looking forward to hearing your feedback. I think this is a great way to archive what we do and use it in perpetuity as a way to amplify what Vulcan is doing and to help people see how we're impacting some of these, not just government initiatives, but a lot of other consortium work as well. So for Vulcan, the Vulcan Interoperability Bridge 2026, we really want to continue to provide members this technical support as they implement and give them the recognition that they deserve. I believe that it's a key part of the value proposition of Vulcan membership to bring these organizations, shine a spotlight on them, help the government agencies who are working on this stuff see who's really doing it, see that they're coming to the table and collaborating and that they're testing. So it sort of takes that whole commercialization piece and says, hey, we really are working for the betterment of clinical research architecture, not just for ourselves. And so this is how we help these organizations do that. And so we've already launched VIB 2026, right? So we had some funding from ASTP that we were able to leverage to sort of push it into the next one. And several organizations had expressed interest a little too late in the VIB 25 process to get engaged. And so we'll be following up with them and make sure that they're ready to go. But we're going to be also looking to define new use cases and see which use cases out of the existing VIB we should push forward. But the idea is to get more new implementers implementing more IGs and different IGs to support more and different projects across the globe, not just in the US. So a call for participation is available on that website that you just saw. People can fill out the form and we'll reach out to them and get them on the list, get them engaged as we define these use cases. The schedule will be set once funding is secured. So as I said, right now, we're good through about October to do this call for participation, see what we've got in terms of use cases and who will want to participate. But we're going to be, and we're already in contact with ASTP to see if we can continue the existing funding that we have. When we go to the TADOS event, which I'll talk about in a minute, we'll be looking to see what we can stir up there. And then, of course, there's a possibility to fund some of this perhaps through Vulcan as an organization as we expand membership, James. Gaining international support, I think, is critical for this. As I said, we want this to spread and be a true global initiative. And with only ASTP supporting it and only connecting back to US projects, that makes it difficult. So our goal at TADOS is going to be, we're going to present this work to share the success that we had at the VIB, but we really want to show the Vulcan path back to European projects and how this supports the European clinical research architecture the same way we've done that in the US. And so we are working with a small group of people from, I think it's Vulcan members that are European centric that are helping us sort of articulate that message, understand those European projects so that we can really put it in front of them during our panel discussion. You know, here's how these Vulcan implementation guides support these projects. Here's proof that we've done this in the US and come to meet regulation there, and we can help you do it too. Now come to the table with us. And that government support is really important to Vulcan, of course, as we amplify our message, but also to the Vulcan members, because as they come to implement, this is the visibility that they're looking for, I believe, to help show them rising to the top of industry, so to speak. So the other thing that I think we will continue to refine as we have Lisa on board now is how this VIB work becomes a roadshow for Vulcan marketing. So at conference demonstrations, and we did a couple market demonstrations at HIMSS, we did Vive in the spring. We had a kiosk there and we're able to show the work of the Vulcan Interoperability Bridge participants. But we can also do some virtual presentations. You know, we sit on panels, we bring people who have used the VIB to show their work, and it really speaks volumes, I think, to have that collaboration with other consortiums, that amplification on various webinars and such. And so I'll be trying to help Lisa identify as many of those opportunities as I can. And I think we have a great opportunity here to support members. And then, of course, the website will provide ready sort of anytime on-demand sharing. And so I encourage you all to use that as frequently as possible. And again, we'll be putting that out in various social clips and such as the marketing plan comes to fruition. So I want to share this little video with you, crossing my fingers that it plays, guys. But this is Kim Tableman. I just want to part with this final thought. And this is just one of our VIB champions who shared the experience she had at the VIB and how valuable it was to her to have Brett Heel, who was our technical resource, alongside them as they implemented for demonstration. And somebody scream at me if you don't hear the audio.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Tableman, and I am the founder and CEO of Aspiro, a digital protocol platform supporting pharma. And I have been thrilled to be part of Vulcan and specifically the Vulcan Interoperability Bridge event. I've had the great pleasure of working with a number of colleagues across the industry to be able to show an actual use case of using the digital protocol data through to EDC, partnering with Open Clinica. And we also have had the benefit of all the work that the Vulcan SOA working group did, which was a huge accelerator for us as we were trying to figure out the mapping from ICHM 11 to CDISC to USDM to FHIR. And we had a lot of really great conversations, but we were really fortunate to have Brett be a part of those conversations as a FHIR subject matter expert. And the entire team came together and really demonstrated how many brains is better than one brain in terms of moving the industry forward. So
thank you for allowing me to share that. I think it's just so critical that we continue to push this stuff forward with our Vulcan members, that we support them. I mean, I love everything about the Kim Tableman story. You know, they're implementing, she's a CEO of a small business that we were able to help adopt this standard and push it forward. They're in a lot of different organizations. And you know, we Vulcan are doing more for our members than just giving them visibility. We're helping them gain traction and, you know, really implement the standard and build things correctly. And that's something that not everybody's doing out there, folks. I mean, I work with health running demonstrations around interoperability and AI. I work with hundreds of technology services providers, and a lot of these startups are focused on just one thing, right? They're just focused on their bottom line and how they can get their market share. And I think we're serving a really, really important mission here to bring organizations together and make sure they're working for the good of the entire infrastructure. So thank you for your time. And I'm happy to take any questions if we have time.
That's fabulous, Sandy. I think we'll pass over to Rachel first and try and do questions at the end.
Sounds
But
good.
great job on that presentation, by the way. But fantastic job on the VIB. It's been amazing. And hopefully we'll be able to do VIB 2 next year.
Yeah.
Okay, over to Rachel. Filippo, can you share your screen again?
Yes, I was going to ask if that's. Oh.
Yeah.
Send. That was my fear. I was going back to slide 1. Of course. Bear with me. Almost there. Here we go, Rachel. You're
Awesome.
up.
Thank you, Filippo. Can you advance one more for me? So pleasure to meet everyone. This is actually my first time on the operations committee call, so I'm really pleased to be introduced to the broader Vulcan community. I'm introducing myself as the marketing lead on the PMO, giving you just a little bit of my own background. I'm currently the director of marketing at J2 Interactive. We are a member company who also participated in the VIBs that Sandy was just talking about. So we had a great experience as well as one of the participating VIB companies. I've worked in healthcare IT for over 6 years, and I was in academia and research prior to that, actually. At my former company, which was a $1 billion organization, I started out leading all marketing healthcare programs for North America, doubling the ROI KPIs, and then eventually getting promoted to lead global communications at that company, growing media placements by 20%. So just a few of my career highlights and what I'm trying to bring to the Vulcan marketing lead as well. Now working at J2, we are focused on interoperability, been working in FHIR for a long time, so this is a great and natural fit, and it's very exciting for both me and my organization to be involved in this way. Filippo, can I ask you for the next slide, please? I wanted to go over just a few of the marketing initiatives that we have in progress because we are working on some what I think are some exciting things. First up, we have a press release that we've been working on, and that is going to be spotlighting the Interoperability Bridge program. We are fingers crossed that it will go out next week, and we're going to be pitching that to different outlets with the goal and hope that we get some earned media placements in pharma and healthcare IT industry outlets. The next thing that we're working on building is a program for social media spotlights on LinkedIn. We are trying to create a program that allows for bi-monthly members shop spotlights on LinkedIn. We anticipate that this will boost our followers. It'll increase the value of memberships, spotlighting our membership and all the incredible things that they are doing. Plus, we anticipate that it will drive engagement. We have options for boosted thought leadership articles on LinkedIn, additionally as a new member benefit. This will increase Vulcan followers and do everything that the spotlights do, but on a paid level, so there's even more value to the membership. And then what my team has already delivered, we've already delivered some branded social media templates for uniform professional communications on social media and some graphics that Vulcan can use. We're providing support for events such as communications and marketing plans, along with in-person support. And we are doing a lot of the artwork for the events, like banners, QR codes, any kind of printed handout. That's what my team is kind of producing for Vulcan. And we are angling towards a monthly newsletter in the future. Once we kind of have some of these other things moving at a good pace and they're consistent, then we want to incorporate that and really create this nice cohesive communications plan within our membership and moving outward to attract new people into the membership. Filippo, can I ask you for the next slide? And one of the key things that we're trying to initiate that we feel will be of great value. It will be a wonderful way for individuals to discover the value of Vulcan before they join as a membership, right? there's always this little bit of hem and haw. There's so many organizations that companies can join, and they have to do that mental calculation of, I'm going to pay this money, what is going to be the ROI? Well, if they join an interest group, which is going to be a free Slack community, then they can get updates on projects. They can see what's going on. They can taste the FOMO, right? Taste the fear of missing out, and be incentivized to join at a paid membership level. So this is kind of like a low risk opt in. It's not an email in their inbox. It's not social media follow, so it's more valuable for us, right, than a social media follow, but it's just as engaging, if not more engaging, than collecting their email. And so we are really keen to get these interest groups up and running, but we need help from the operations committee on this specific initiative. So we would like to create this Slack community. It's going to be free for Vulcan's use. We love that, right? And but every single project needs kind of like an owner, right? Somebody who can kind of oversee that specific channel and make sure that we have updates going on, right? It doesn't have to be every week or every month, but when the project moves, we want communication, collaboration, and updates in the channel. And so I am here as you know, to beg and plead, or to, you know, hopefully people will come and join, take the initiative to be like, yes, I will be in charge of my project Slack channel. I would love to hear from you in that case. My email is just down at the bottom. It's rachel.warnock@hl7vulcan.org. Please let me know, because we are actively looking for people to be in, to help us out and kind of stake a claim in the interest groups to run just the channel. It should be a low lift, but we do need a name in charge. And so I think with that, I want to make sure we have time for questions at the end. And that's my update on marketing. So I want to thank everyone for their time, and I look forward to taking any questions that we have.
Thank you, Rachel. That was excellent. So shall we go back to Mariam now to sort of filter questions through to us?
Yeah, so anyone have any questions for any of the presenters today, or just in general for the group? Mick, I see your hand up. What's up?
It's not really a question. I've just kind of sat here and been quiet all the way through, because it's been very comprehensive and a great plan. I really like the structure, and I love the emphasis around missions, because it's something that kind of intimates we're going to get something done, and we can point back to the things that we have done, which is super useful. You know, I'm still trying to frame up how we approach our particular project that we want to get off the ground, but the structure seems to be put on a really good footing. So I'm just happy to be part of it, even though I'm being quiet in my little padded cell here in the NIHR.
Thank you, Mick. Great comments. Really appreciate that. And the PMO, you've not met all of them. We've got a broader a group of us, but you've met many of them here, and we're all here to support all of our members through that. So, you know, feel free to reach out. At the very least, if you email the Vulcan at hl7vulcan.org email, that's monitored by a number of us. So if you can't remember someone's specific email, just email that one. Remember that one. And I encourage everybody to share stuff on LinkedIn. One of our objectives, I say ours, Rachel, one of our objectives is to grow our LinkedIn followers, because we think that's not only going to be hugely valuable for us to communicate with the broader community, but it will also be valuable for the projects specifically, and also for the members, and growing our membership to give and not just fee-paying members. We've got a number of not-for-profit organizations that give time in lieu, and a significant amount of time in lieu, rather than hard dollars to this. But to grow our membership, so we've got all of those people, is one of our objectives this year. So appreciate the comments, Mick. Any other observations from people as well would be valuable.
Just to add to that, James, about LinkedIn, you know, my space in public healthcare in the UK is quite political. So we have to be pretty darn sure about what we're saying before we go out there. So there's been a number of times I've put some what seem like just good common sense things to do, and then it's
Right.
it gets chewed up by the machine, if you know what I mean. So so anything that comes from us has to be carefully considered.
Even sharing things, we just want people to follow us, really. That's the primary objective. So
If I can actually make a comment on that, the LinkedIn algorithm prioritizes comments above anything else. So even if you are not able to necessarily post, going and commenting on the Vulcan posts or going and commenting on any posts that you want to boost, a comment counts for more than a share actually in the LinkedIn algorithm. And pro tip, 12 words or more counts. It's a big hike in the algorithm, the weight that it gives to it. So if you can make a comment of more than 12 words, even if it's just like repeating what you found valuable, or I loved this approach, or I found this statement really valuable, and copy and paste the thing that you liked the most, that actually makes for a really good commentary on LinkedIn, and it counts for a ton in the algorithm and organic reach. So it doesn't have to be a post, it can be a comment.
Thanks for that, Rachel. I'll have to overcome my natural English reticence about such things and make a few comments. James would understand.
I do. Although I'm an extrovert, Mick, so I hit the limit of the words occasionally. I think it's 150 words on, on LinkedIn comments. And the benefit, of course, to all of our members, if we get more members, is we've got more manpower, more resources, more reach, and the great work that's been done over the last 6 years can spread further. So that's the motivation of this new reorganized PMO that you've got, that was the inspiration of the steering board to create this. And 2025 has been about stabilizing the operations and us learning how this works, and hopefully you're starting to see that. There were some growing pains because the organization had grown quite quickly. So I think we've established a platform now that's just solidifying, but we're establishing a platform that will allow us to grow next year. So you can confidently, hopefully, you can confidently share with your colleagues around the world to come and join us and get involved. That's our aim. Fantastic.
Any
Mariam,
other questions before we wrap up? Okay, hearing none. Thanks everyone for joining, and we will see you, hopefully we'll see you next week at HL7. If not, we'll see you at the next operations call. Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
thanks, Mariam. Bye-bye.
Thank you.